What we're talking about today is a product and the skin solutions that actually work. And you were nice enough to send me what we're going to be talking about to test out. And it would really be a bummer if I had to come onto this podcast and pretend that it worked and it didn't. And my skin significantly got better. Significantly. And my husband even noticed, my daughter even noticed. And this is the true test, Kiran, is that my two daughters use the product and they actually say, Mom, it works. Because they get all the supplements and all the stuff for free, right? They're not paying for anything in life yet. And they could just say, that's too much it's too much work and it doesn't work. It actually works. So it's working for two teenagers and a 48-year-old female. And what I'm shocked about, and we're going to get into all of this, is I expected to see the blemishes to go away. Mm-hmm. I did not expect to see my wrinkles to go away. Yes. And the smoothness. And in that magnifying mirror that I should actually throw away because it's not good for me, in that mirror, I see the tone of my pores and my skin just getting better and better. And then combining it with the facelift, the accelerated facelift line, it's just magic. So super excited to dive into this. And we are talking about leaky skin. And we've talked about leaky gut. And people probably have heard about leaky brain a little bit, right? But leaky skin, I mean, can you dive into that and tell us what that even means?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have an actual PowerPoint to go through, which will be fun to be able to do some slides. But before I jump into that, I want to say, and then the audience may not be aware that this is the first time I'm hearing your feedback on using the product, which is awesome, right? So I actually had no idea because we hadn't chatted since you received the product. So it's so awesome to hear that the variety of benefits that you see. And I think from this presentation, the audience will start to understand why, right? This is not some sort of magic serum that does magical things. When you understand how the skin microbiome affects the skin, whether it's pimples, whether it's wrinkles, redness, eczema, and so on. When you start to balance the microbiome, you start to see a really interesting foundational improvement in the skin. And then all the other things you're doing to add nutrition to the skin, like your other products, all those do even better because you're balancing the microbiome. It's no different than balancing the gut and eating healthy food, right? You don't want to just eat healthy food. If your gut is imbalanced, you're not utilizing the food as well. Or if you just balance your gut by you're eating crappy food, it's not going to help you a lot. So it's that combination of putting good nutrition and healthy products on your skin with the balanced microbiome. It makes all the difference. So I'm super excited to hear your feedback. Thank you so much for trying the product and trusting it. So I appreciate that. If we don't mind, we can jump into the PowerPoint if you wish.
Yep, let's go into the PowerPoint. And as we're doing that, I mean, I have to say that one of the worst emails that I used to get from people is saying, Sara, my teenage daughter has horrific acne. What should I do about it? And they don't want to change their diet. Right. And so I would love for you to also talk about how important the gut and leaky gut is to the skin. So, you know, it's not just about all this topical stuff and then you go to McDonald's. You've got to do the inside and the outside. So it's a combination.
It is. And let me give people a quick overview so they understand the connection between the gut, the skin microbiome, the gut microbiome, and so on. I don't get into the gut part of it as much in this PowerPoint, so let me give them an overview before we start. So the gut, as most people know, controls the vast majority of your immune system, immune response, right? We know everyone's heard something like 80% of your immune system is in the gut. Well, what does that actually mean? It means that 80% of the tissue, your sampling tissue, which is your immune tissue, is present in the lining of the gut. And you know your lining of your gut is very, very big. If you unfolded your entire intestinal tract, it has the surface area of a professional tennis court, right? So it's a massive surface area for what's folded into your system. And a good portion of that is covered by immune tissue. So your immune system is constantly sampling the world around you based on what's entering into the gut. And your immune system makes decisions on how to respond to things that your body encounters, not just through your digestive tract, but even through your outside, through your skin, based on what's happening to the immune response in the gut. So if your microbiome, which is really responsible for translating the world to your immune system, if your microbiome is not communicating effectively with your immune system in the gut, in that 80% of immune tissue, you end up with an immune system that is overtly reactive to everything. Right? It's the same with food sensitivities, where now you can't digest certain foods. Your body responds overtly to those foods. Allergies, eczema, asthma, acne, all of these things are inflammatory responses from your immune system, a lot of which is dictated from within. So the microbiome in your gut dictates how reactive your immune system is, and is it going to react adversely to lots of things you encounter. Then the microbiome on the skin, if it's dysfunctional, can act as a trigger to recruit the immune system to that site, right? That's where you'll find the difference. So now if you have a balanced skin microbiome, it's not acting as a trigger. And if you have a balanced gut microbiome, it's not creating an immune system that's overtly active. It gives you more resilience. You can encounter things, you can run into things, you can consume things without your skin and your gut and everything else overreacting. Right. So that's the overview that you can think about. And we'll jump into this. And I think people will get a little bit more understanding of this. Now, why leaky skin is an important topic is because of what Sara just mentioned, right? She's got young daughters who are not really concerned about aging, right? They're not concerned about wrinkles and things like that, but they are concerned about things that are unsightly, like inflammation on the skin, lesions on the skin like acne and so on. So that is their concern. But then Sara, being in her 40s, is now thinking about things like age-related symptoms, wrinkles, fine lines, sagging of the skin, thinning of the skin, hyperpigmentation, right? Texture of the skin itself. Those are all things that are more prevalent in your purview, Sara. But when you think about leaky skin, it affects both of those. Right? Because leaky skin comes from a dysbiosis on the skin of the microbes. And what you'll come to find out when you go through this PowerPoint is that the microbes dictate how the skin functions, both from an inflammatory perspective, so in the case of the acne and the lesions, and also from an aging perspective, the tautness, the tightness of the skin, the texture, and so on, right? So leaky skin encompasses all of those. Leaky skin is a result of a dysfunctional microbiome on the skin, and all of those conditions become a risk when you have a dysfunctional microbiome.